Hi guys, my name is Rachel and I am a dietetic intern, and today I wanted to provide to you guys a few tips of how to prepare for your dietetic internship interview. So congrats if you received an email saying that they want to interview you, and if not, if you just want to prepare, I hope that this is helpful for when you do get an interview. So first of all, I wanted to talk about, just maybe 5 or 6 things that I learned throughout the process, and I want to make it, as concise as possible, but as helpful for you guys. Also, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. I know this process is scary, is daunting, and I want to be as helpful to you guys as possible. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to do mock interviews. For me, my school had something called like career and talent office something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure your school probably has something like that. Just ask maybe your advisor about it. But basically, it's someone that helps you with your resume, with interviews, with just personal development. So I made an appointment with her and I did two mock interviews, 2 different dates. And basically, she just had some questions for me that were vague enough, broad enough to be applied to different, career fields. But the basic questions like strengths and weaknesses, how have you demonstrated that you are this or that or whatever. So these are really, really great. I actually had the idea to record myself as she asked me these questions just to see where I could better myself, whether it was lack of eye contact, or I said like a lot, or I said a lot, or I moved my hands too much, because sometimes I do that, as I'm sure you guys probably realized, or I was playing with my hair, or I was fixing something. These are really important because it kind of shows where you're at. It shows if you're nervous, it shows if you're prepared, and I wanted to be as prepared as possible. Also, this was really great because she helped me formulate answers that would help me demonstrate how I was certain type of characteristics as mentioned before, but also showcase the best version of myself. Of course, you don't want to lie in your interview, but you want to make sure it's a best fit for them and a best fit for you. So just kind of formulating the answers in a manner that is helpful for them to understand you better as a person, but still true to yourself, and you can kind of showcase your personality as you go. So that's what I did. I did it twice. It was extremely helpful because I could always look back in the videos and just kind of review and practice in front of my mirror, practice in front of people, have people ask me questions. I went online and looked at the most asked questions. Some people don't write them online. Some people, you'll find some things online, or maybe they'll edit them. They won't exactly say what they were asked, is what I'm trying to say. But there are those basic questions that you'll probably be asked. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for them, that they don't catch you by surprise. If maybe you didn't get the best grade, if maybe your GPA isn't awesome, you want to make sure you have answers for that, because those are things that they can ask you. We saw that you slacked here, that you had a hard time, or that this was challenging. Can you explain yourself? Is there a reason why? And you want to make sure the reasons are good reasons, not just because you don't want to go to school, or the class was hard, or you weren't applied. You don't want to ever talk negatively about yourself. Now, we all have challenges and weaknesses, so you want to be true to that. You don't want to lie about those things, but you always want to say that you've been working on them and saying how you've been working about certain things. Maybe you weren't very familiar with a concept in a class or something, and maybe that's why you didn't do well, but then you familiarized yourself more, and at the end you were able to do a little bit better, but maybe you didn't get the grade you wanted. So you can explain then what are some things that you did. You worked on with a tutor, maybe you worked more on your time management, whatever it may be. You want to always explain how you're working on your weaknesses if that comes into the table. If that's something that they never talk about, don't bring up weaknesses if you don't have to. Of course, you don't want to lie, as I said, but you don't want to also expose yourself if it's not needed. All right, so another tip that I have for you guys is to use the adjectives that they use in their website. A lot of internship programs and their websites, when they're describing what they want for a student or as a student or whatever, they describe specific things. They may say they need someone that's flexible, that has really good interpersonal skills, like things like that. You want to make sure you're mentioning those things in your interview and making time for them and finding a way to incorporate things that you really want to mention, because this is where you shine. I mean, you're literally telling them you are the candidate that they're looking for, and obviously being able to back up those things. Like, how are you those things? How are you flexible? How do you have good interpersonal skills? You want to make sure they understand why. And this is really, really, really important, because you're basically telling them that they need you. So I definitely took advantage of this. There were a few adjectives that they used, and I definitely was able to bring those up in the interview and kind of work them into some of the things that I was saying. So I definitely recommend that. As well, towards the end of the interview, because this was my first choice school, I wanted to make sure that they knew that. So the way that I incorporated that was by basically telling them that X school is the best choice for me because A, B, C, D. And that was just one way that I thought was, significant, but not so much as saying, you guys are my first choice. For them to know that, you're my first choice, and if you really, really want me, you need to rank me up there, because if not, this is not going to be a match. And for me, this really, 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 I believe made a difference, and my director was pleased to hear that. So just letting them know that if this is something that you really, really want, going ahead and using key things for them to really, really understand that this is a great, great opportunity for you, and that you're really invested and really, really serious about getting into their program. Obviously, it's super, super, super important to be there early. I was there early, and actually it benefited me a lot because I was the first person being interviewed that day, and my director was late. So I kind of helped her bring some stuff in from her car, and they had to set up. And I think that seeing her see me being early and helping her and stuff was helpful. They want to make sure you're taking this serious, you're doing what you got to do. So I did make sure I was about 15 minutes early, and it was good. I went to the bathroom, I calmed my nerves, I looked at myself in the mirror, make sure I didn't have anything on my face, and that was really, really, really great. Preparing physically for the interview, I wore light makeup. I would have never worn a lipstick this color. I wore minimal jewelry. I wouldn't have even worn these earrings that I'm wearing now, but that's just personally me. I probably wear like little diamonds or little like fake diamonds or pearls or something. A lot of people say curly is not professional. This is my natural hair, so I just had my hair just like this down, and I didn't wear any loud colors. I just wear like black and white button down, like striped. I did wear a suit, a black one, black pants, and then black heels. I did nude nails because I just didn't want anything to kind of steer their attention away from me as a person, not like just looking at my stuff or like how I looked, and I didn't want to come off too loud or any type of way. So that's just what I personally chose about myself. It's not necessarily wrong, it's just what I wanted to do to feel the most comfortable in my skin, which is what I would recommend. Do what you think is more comfortable for you to be able to talk and stuff, but always realizing that we all come in with our own prejudice and our own biases, and unfortunately this is a reality. So for my electronic portfolio, I used Wix, the website, and you can't just write down the website and then put it in. It has to be sent by link. So that's something that I really wanted to make sure that I mentioned, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to show them, and even if they had a computer right then and there, it wasn't going to be something that they would have been able to see unless I sent them to them. So you can always do that beforehand if you know who's going to be interviewing you, or if they're going to have a laptop, or you can do it after. I did it after, and I really didn't want to forget to do that. So I basically sent them an email like, thank you so much for having me. This is the link to my website as I had mentioned in their interview, and that's basically it. I did went ahead and also write them a thank you card, a handwritten one, and I wrote one for each person that interviewed me, and there was 2 individuals in there, and I did make it personal. I didn't say just like, oh, thanks for interviewing me or giving me this opportunity. You know, I mentioned some things that I enjoyed about the interview. We had some commonalities between us, so I did mention that and how that was really great, and something along those lines, just to make it more personal other than just like, thanks for having me. So that's something that I did. And I never got anything back for it. They never like sent me like an email like, thanks for your mailed letter or something. But I know that's something that they got, and that directors and interviewers really, really, really appreciate. So that's something that I would definitely do. You know, a card is gonna cost you like less than $1, and then a stamp and stuff is really inexpensive. So I would go ahead and do that as well. And obviously, just being receptive, just being aware that the process takes a while. You may not hear anything from them for 3 weeks. You may not hear anything from them, in a week or whatever. Or you may just have to wait till match day to just hear more about them. So you did the best that you can. You prepared the best that you could, or at least that's what I told myself. Like, there's nothing you can do. You did your best. Like, it's just a waiting game from here on out. So that's something that I would just kind of, take refuge in and comfort, and just pray about you getting into this program and being matched. So yeah, that's basically some of the things that I did. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. I know this is a scary process, as I said, but if you guys are interested in any other videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and I will bring out more videos about, students, dietetic interns, dietetic internships, and obviously registered dietitians, and I'd love for you to join me. Anyway, thank you so much for having me, and I will see you next time. Bye.